give this a go. I wanted to show you all about seeds and plants because, as you probably realise now, our topic for this half term is about plants and how they grow and how we should look after them. And on Monday's lesson I asked you to talk over the parts of a flower that you knew about, and I hoped that you would be able to recognise on a flower the stem, which is where the water travels up from the roots. Now I haven't got any roots on this daffodil, but because it's being cut. And then you've got what's known as the sepal that protects the bud and the petals, and then inside you've got the anthers and the ovary, which helps make new seeds and new flowers. So that's what you did on Monday. So what I want to do today, and I'm sorry if I cut the top of my head off, because I wanted you to be able to see what I've got in front of me, and that you might like to try and grow some of these plants. So in year 2 we have to observe, that means look closely, and I've got my notes here, about how seeds and bulbs grow into plants. So I'm going to start with bulbs, and the most typical bulb is an onion. Now if you were to take off the skin, which is protecting the onion, and chop it in half, just like all other bulbs, it's already got a plant inside. It's all squashed up, but if you've got a daffodil bulb or an onion and you chopped it in half, and I'm going to do this now and see whether we can see it. Now if you're going to do this at home, you need to get an adult to help you with the knife. And if you have a look inside, now I don't know how clear that's going to be, but you can see that coming up from the root, you've already got parts of the new onion plant. And I can see, there we go, look, there's the tips of what the leaves would grow when it grows up into the onion plant. And if you planted this onion, if I hadn't chopped it in half, you would be able to grow new onion plants from this bulb. Now another bulb that I suggest that you have a look at is, I wonder if you can remember what this is. This is garlic, and this is an old English fashioned garlic, and inside those bulbs you've got these little cloves, and they're quite tasty in cooking, aren't they? I'm sure that if mum or dad cooked for it. And look, even these have started to sprout on the top already. Now if you take a clove of garlic, I've got 2 here, you can actually plant them into a pot. Now if you don't have a pot, now over the last couple of days I've collected lots of sorts of different pots, but you can make a pot. Now if you get a newspaper or one of these flyers that's come through the post, if you tear it in half, and you'll find that paper tears in a straight line one way but not the other way. Look, I've lost my face again there. And what you need to do is you need to roll it up. Now you could roll it up around a toilet roll, and then you need to push the bottom in, and I think that you could trim off the top there. That's quite tall, isn't it? So, and then once that's all pushed in, you can put some soil into it, and then you can plant your garlic bulb. Now it does matter with bulbs which way up you plant them. So with these you need the flat surface at the bottom. Now I'm actually going to plant it into this pot here. So I've got some compost here, but any soil will do. That sounds like a song, doesn't it? So you can either bury it completely, or you could just leave the top. and then you need to give it some water. Don't give it too much because you'll drown it. Okay, now that should start to sprout with its stem and some the leaves eventually within a couple of days. That was my bargain yesterday, 21p for some melon. Okay, so we've looked at those bulbs. Let me look at my note. Ah, yes. Now one of you gave me this for Christmas, and inside it's got these discs of compost. It's exactly the same as this compost, but it's been squashed down and all the water taken out of it. So if I add water, those discs are going to expand and they're turned into soil, just like this. And what came with that sausage dog were some little tete-a-tetes. Now they are tiny daffodils. And I keep dropping my head off, don't I? Okay, now inside, these are what they are. And you can see that they've already started sprouting. So we know that's going to be the top. Now, where does the plant to grow get its energy from? Well, it gets it from the bulb. And as we know, there's already a plant inside the bulb waiting to grow up. There's the bottom, that's where it will root from. So what we do is, if we, I think I might need a bit more water in there. I might have to disappear in a minute and get some more water from the tap. Okay, so we got this. And then we plant them in. And there's 3 in there. There's another one that's almost up to the top. And then I will give it some more water. Now, where do you think the best place to put this would be? Where do you think the best place for plants to grow? Now, some bulbs, believe it or not, they need to be started off in a dark cupboard somewhere until they start to sprout. Now, these have already started, so these are going to be perfect on the kitchen windowsill. Once I finish this, I am going to put a little bit more soil in there. I'll bring those into school when we're back together and we can see how they've grown. So I expect the most common thing that you know about how plants grow is from seeds. Now, I suggested to you that you got some broad bean seeds. Now, these are broad bean seeds that I've soaked for the last couple of days. And you can see that the outside skin that's called the tester that protects the seed has started to crack open. Now it needs to do that to be able to grow. And if you've got broad bean seeds that you haven't soaked, you'll find that they're really, really hard. Now they'll grow, but they'll take longer than if you soak them. So I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to peel off the outside. You know, some seeds, they actually need to be part of a forest fire to make sure that the tester comes off before they will actually grow. And some seeds only have one half. Okay, hopefully in the editing I can put these 2 bits together. My phone ran out of memory. So I can't think where we left off. So these are called cotyledons and they provide all the energy for the plant to be able to grow. Now, when we bake beans and peas, we're actually eating the inside of the seed. So when you plant a seed, you can see that that one is just starting to poke through. The root will come out first. And that will grow downwards, and don't worry, it doesn't matter which way you plant seeds because the root will always know to go downwards and then the shoot will always know to go upwards. And I'm going to get us to make a broad bean Ziploc bag greenhouse. So you'll need a freezer bag, doesn't have to be this big, this is the only one that I've got, and you'll need either kitchen roll or cotton wool. Now if you put the cotton wool at the bottom of the bag and you're going to need to soak that cotton wool. Remember, I've run out of water at the moment, so that's over there. And then you're going to need to put your seed inside the Ziploc bag, just up against it, so you can actually see it in the nice damp conditions of the cotton wool and the seed. Now if you seal this up, this makes a nice greenhouse. So the moisture, if you stick it on a window to watch it, will start to foam. So you've got the cotton wool, you've made it damp, you've put it in the Ziploc bag, you've sealed the top, and then you can attach that to a door or a window, and that will keep itself moist because of the water cycle, the rain cycle that you are going to create within that bag. And you can watch this every couple of days, and you can see how the broad bean grows. Now I've got two more very quickly to show you. This is an avocado, and what I've done is I've chopped it in half and I've taken out the seed. Pointy top, bottom, it's got the hard tester coat, and I'm going to place it onto a bed of cotton wool and keep that damp, and that will begin to root. This top of a pineapple, now a pineapple tree, it takes 2 or 3 years to grow, but you can put this into cotton wool or soil and this will start to root and you can grow your own pineapple. It won't be ready until you're year 6, but it might be a good project to have a go at. And finally, carrot tops. If you chop off the top, again, if you're going to use a knife, you need to check with an adult. Okay, in some water, and then you can watch that grow on the windowsill. Now I'm going to set all these up and I'm going to bring them into school, and if you're key worker school, we'll have all the seeds and things at school, but when we're all back together we can have a look to see how these have all grown. Perhaps you could bring in a diary of what you've done and what you've planted, post them onto Seesaw, and then we'll share them all when we're back. I will oh yes, I didn't go out and buy pots especially, I just used some tins or trays. One more great one, love this one. So cotton wool into some form of container. You're going to need to put some water on it, and then here's a totally different size seeds, they're cress seeds. Now you can grow these and then put them into an egg sandwich, and these will be fully grown within a week. Tiny, tiny seeds compared to the broad bean, but they are exactly the same. They've got that hard coating, but they're just too small for me to be able to show you that properly. Scatter them on top of your cotton wool and they will start to grow within a couple of days. You can then cut off the top and you can put them into an egg sandwich. If you can't get cress, mustard is really good as well. Now let me check my notes. I think I've said everything to you. Yep. One final thing, and then let's hope that my phone's not going to run out of power. Get an old sock, put it on the outside of your shoe and go for a walk. You might run through the fields, you might go in the woods, you might step in some seeds. Take the sock off and put it into another greenhouse Ziploc bag and watch your sock grow with seeds and flowers. Okay, I'm going to sort this out now. I'm going to get my niece to try and put everything together. I will post it onto Seesaw for you next week. I hope you've enjoyed it. I better clear up this mess before my mum comes downstairs. I'm going to make sure everything is planted properly. I'll set it off and I will see you when we're together. Remember, every day is one step closer to us getting back together as a class. I hope you enjoyed this. Have fun planting, have fun finding things that you can try and grow, and I'll see you soon.